Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Rockwood number 111-613 Satin Oxidized Oil Rubbed Bronze Solid Door Pole. So first of all, this is 3.6 pounds of solid bronze is what this is. This is an incredibly heavy piece of equipment, and that's because it's made of solid bronze. This is the 111. The 111 is going to be representative of the dimensional properties of the pole handle. The 111 will always be, 1-inch diameter, 10-inch center to center, regardless of the size, regardless of the base material, and then of course finish. This is what the 613 looks like. 613 is what's called a living finish. A little bit of oil there, that's normal, that you're going to see a little bit of glisten that's on here, and I want to, restrict myself how much I actually touch it for a couple of reasons. Number one, you can't really see it, but if I were to really run my hands over this, that process is going to come off in my hand. Plus, it is meant to be worn with age and use and finish, meaning this pole handle, over time, is going to reveal its bronze tone underneath as the pole handle is used. That oil rubbed will elegantly and eventually wear away where the handle is mostly touched. So if you ever notice a door that is, full of oil rubbed bronze hardware, if you inspect the door closer, the hinges, push and pull hardware or locking hardware and exit device, if you notice the wear on a pole handle, let's say it's a bathroom door, you'll notice the wear on the pole handle and the push plate. Take a look at the hinges, something that no one ever touches. That's what it used to look like, quite frankly, when the material was originally installed. So be mindful. If you're ordering 613, that's going to be a finish, especially when you touch the hardware. That's going to wear away with time. I've had people call up and say, your finish is defective. What did you order? I ordered oil rub bronze. Tell me exactly what you ordered. Oh, 613 finish? No, it's not defective. It's intended to wear away, and the industry terminology that's applied to that is living finish. So be mindful. If you want a finish that is not going to be subject to the relatively rapid rate of evolution like oil rubbed would be, you'd want maybe a powder-coated finish. You can do a 613E or an equivalent finish. They will take a piece of pole handle, either aluminum or stainless, and they'll powder-coat it, a dark bronze equivalent. And we just recently had a project for a country club here in Naples, Florida, and a whole mess of doors. And the last remodel may have been 10 years old, and I brought to the client's attention, hey, there's an option that wasn't available to you 10 years ago. All that oil rub bronze that you have, we're going to put all new hardware here. It's going to wear just like the stuff you have, and it's at the end of the day is not going to look really any different. Or you can do a powder coated version of oil rub bronze, which is a dark bronze type powder coat paint. Powder coating is paint. It's literally paint in the sense that it is a process that is sprayed on. It's a dry powder, and electricity is used to bond that paint to the base material. You run an opposite charge in each of the two components, and the paint really adheres to that surface. You then cure it in an oven at a certain temperature for a certain amount of time, and it ends up becoming an outrageously durable finish. So the client actually opted for the powder-coated version, and the stuff will look great for years to come. It will still wear. People will have rings on their fingers and keys in their hands, and you can still scratch and damage the finish, but it won't wear away like oil rubbed would, so be mindful of that. 111. What is a 111? Well, as I had said earlier, that's a 10-inch center-to-center on the pole. Okay? Which means that it's going to be 11-inch overall length. Can't really see that too well. There we go. It's going to have a projection of 3-inch and a clearance of 2-inch. Projection of 3 and a clearance of 2. That seems to make sense. Okay? And be mindful, the color that I feel like you're seeing on the camera is a bit darker than what it actually looks like in real in real life, in person, you can definitely tell that this has a nice warm undertone to it, and that's your solid bronze evidence right there. Okay. This client ordered it with a Type 1 mount, and a Type 1 mount from Rockwood means quarter 20 through bolts with these finish washers. Not from Scandinavia. They are F-I-N-I-S-H, finish washers that will allow you to through bolt it through the door. You can do other mounting types with this pull handle. In terms of single pull handles that are through bolted, you can do a Type 12, which would be a through bolt, but it would have a decorative cap about the diameter of a quarter, but about 5/16 thick. It might look a little more appropriate than a bolt, you know, sitting in this finish washer that's here. So be mindful. Then you can also, of course, do them all back to back, a variety of door thicknesses. And speaking of door thickness, if you have a door thickness other than 1 3/4, let us know so that we can send the bolts at the proper length. There's no reason for you to cut these down for a thinner door, and there's no reason for you to have to worry about after the fact, I've got a 3-inch thick door. Yeah, well, let us know. We'll be sure to accommodate that requirement as best we can. So there is some supporting documentation. Let's switch to the screen view where we can take a look at that. Okay, so here's the item that we're looking at. Okay, a 111 and 613 finish. Let's take a look at other finishes that we have this item listed in. So the 111 is being returned as a result because it is part of a larger part number. Let's take a look. Meaning it's available obviously with a back plate, along with different orientations as it's mated to a push plate as well. Or pardon me, push bars. Either single, double, triple push bars can be seen. So this 111, it can be done in a 605 polished brass, 606. Well, let's back up. It can be done in a tremendous quantity of different finishes. What we have listed is 605 polished brass, 606 satin brass, 612 satin bronze, 613 oil rubbed bronze, 625 polished chrome, which you don't want. You're going to want a 629, a polished stainless. Polished chrome, that plating may prove to be a long-term problem as the plating breaks down. You'd be better off with a piece of solid stainless that's been highly polished. It will look all but the same. It will look very, very similar. 626 satin chrome, 628 in aluminum, a clear anodized aluminum finish. That's that 629 polished stainless. 630 satin stainless. That is the most durable of all finishes available. It's called a natural finish. If you are looking for this pull in the most durable of all finishes, period, end of sentence, it would most certainly be the 630 finish. 710 is a dark bronze anodized over aluminum. 711 is a black anodized over aluminum. And there's that oil rubbed bronze equivalent. That's that powder coated finish. Be sure to specify the base material. The factory very likely will conclude that aluminum base material is acceptable because the standing policy from the factory is that when they powder coat, they will powder coat the least expensive base material that's available. So specify aluminum or stainless when they powder coat that material. Okay. Now back to the item that we are working on. Extended description information down below that we've already covered. Those mounting options are listed here. Some generic mounting options that are listed here, I should say. The Type 1 that this client ordered. You can also do this Type 1 in a 1HD, which will give you a thicker bolt, a 5/16 18 bolt. I would very much recommend thicker bolts in all instances because it is, you know, observably more durable to, you know, volumes of use, restaurants, bars, you know, high volume applications, movie theaters. Go with the thickest bolt you can. And I'll show you where there are other mounting types that are listed as well. Here's the product brochure, and this page will talk about the 111 and its sister products. And the sister products really just change in terms of the center-to-center dimension. A 111 is simply a 10-inch. Okay, these are the different sizes in terms of center-to-center that are listed. However, be mindful, this is nothing other than bar stock, and Rockwood can bend this to any size that you need, literally. If you know, what I'm saying is, let's say you're doing 7-foot doors and they are 10-inch center to center. Well, that's going to look really great. What if you had 9 or 10-foot tall doors? I would think you're going to want those pull handles to be, you know, at least 18-inch, 24, 30, 36-inch. The point is they can customize to suit your requirements. So keep that in mind. Aluminum, brass, bronze, and stainless are available base materials. On stainless, they can do a micro shield, which would be it would be a coating that would very successfully discourage the growth of bacteria, fungus, mildew, agents of germ, things of that nature. Common practice to see that specified in a hospital. If you have an extreme coastal environment or even on a vessel, they can do this in a 316 stainless, whereas the standard stainless will be 304. They can do it in satin 316 or polished 316. They get into powder coating. Other than that oil rub bronze equivalent powder coat, white, red, black, they probably can do other stuff. I think it's just a matter of them having the paint available to them. Talk about letting us know if the thickness is other than 1 3/4. Different mounting types are here as well. If you need a greater clearance dimension from the face of the door to the inside of the handle, preface it as a BF. It'll be the same pole, it's just going to be a deeper depth. It'll be a wider D shape, so to speak, to be barrier free. Nowhere in the code does it say barrier free must be 2.5-inch clearance. At least it hasn't been to this point, but that is what manufacturers consider an agreeable barrier-free dimension. So this would have a 3.5-inch projection. Okay. Now back to the item that we're looking at. This link here to the manufacturer's page is very handy, and I'm going to give a moment for that to load. But the question is, where would you use this pole? Well, anywhere. Anywhere where you needed a handsome pole that is quite heavy and durable, and an oil rub bronze finish, perhaps, or any other finish. You know, heavy industrial applications would be well served by this. A door that's just going to get yanked on and pulled on all the time, this would be great for. I also sell this pull handle to people in residential applications. This pull handle's in particular going to a high school. That makes perfect sense to me. I would have ordered it in the Type 1 HD mount, however. To get, they also have a Type 1X HD, which is a 3/16 18, pardon me, a 3/8 16, a 3/8 16 thread. You need a minimum, I believe, of 1 1/4 diameter pull bar, and they can do that as well. That's going to be a different part number, but they can give you this same pull in 1 1/4 and even 1.5 inch diameter. So Rockwood is synonymous with, you know, it is very unusual for them to tell me that they can't manufacture something. It has happened in the past, but it happens once a year, and I get some pretty off-the-wall requests. So the link to the manufacturer's page, you can review all the Rockwood products that we sell. A link to the manufacturer's website is here, as well as a link to the full product catalog can be seen. Okay. Also, the architectural door pull catalog. I had mentioned pulls of greater thickness, 1 1/4, 1.5 inches. That's going to all most certainly be in this catalog, where you can do, you know, very handsome pulls, a variety of different base materials. You know, here's some material that's 1 1/4, 1.5 inch diameter. Okay, here it is. RM 3471 72, 1 1/4, 1.5 inches. It's in essence the same item. You then specify the center to center. Okay, so lots of beautiful pull handles in here. Pull handles that are made of architectural base materials, are leather wrapped, are rubber wrapped, are infused with wood treatment, etc. So let's wrap up this video on camera. In conclusion, the name Rockwood is synonymous with very high quality trim and auxiliary hardware. They are absolutely my go-to company when it comes to this for a number of reasons. First of all, they are basically always able to give me what I need. There is an example on that manufacturer's page where we were doing a project. A client had an electrified deadbolt, an electric deadbolt, up in the header of some industrial-sized doors, 4-foot by 10-foot leaves, something huge, made by a sister company of Rockwood's by the name of Rixson. They discontinued this electric deadbolt, who knows how many years ago, 20 maybe. And it broke, and the client's like, what do I do? Well, this Rixson electric deadbolt had an unusual faceplate dimension. Long story short, I was able to get the client an electric deadbolt with the same functionality, and which wasn't a big deal. I think it had door position monitoring. It was fail safe or secure, doesn't matter which it was. I believe it was fail safe. Door status monitoring, auto relock. So it had a contact in it or a switch in it that said, "Oh, the door's closed. Great, let's relock." Okay, so the bolt will be in the fail secure mode. It'll be retracted until the door actually closes, and then it'll relock, closing the circuit. But the problem was the faceplate was the wrong size. So I got the deadbolt, measured the faceplate, extrapolated that data into the larger size plate that we needed, sent the drawing to Rockwood, and bam. 2 weeks later comes back the plate that I need. I mean, it was just great. Bolted it down to the body, sent it off to the client. Perfect. Who knows? Now that we did all the measuring and labor up front, maybe they'll need more. That'll be easier, on the backside, so to speak. So the point is Rockwood entertains that. Their mother company, Assa Abloy, put out a marketing document not long ago that basically said, you got a napkin, you can sketch on it, send us that, we'll quote it. They are very agreeable to custom manufacturing, especially finishing. You wanted this in antique nickel? That's no problem. No problem at all. They'll absolutely do that. So keep that in mind. Great quality people, predictable lead times, agreeability, bedside manner, whatever you want to say. If you have any questions on the Rockwood 111 in a 613 finish, pull handle, or any other Rockwood product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.